Hi there, it's Melissa here, and I'm back to share with you my colour kit for my December hip kit. Sorry, I just had to think which one I was working with there. This is amazing because this is literally all I've got left of the paper, and I'm so pleased that I managed to get to this point. You know what, I could probably punch these and make another layout, like maybe a 8x8 layout, but I'm actually done and it's time to move on. I need to move on to January because literally 5 minutes ago my February kit arrived, so I need to get cracking. So I'll just show you what else I've got left. Letter stickers. These are the ones from Take Me Away. I've used quite a lot of those. Excuse me. These black ones, black and white ones, I've also used quite a lot of them. I find that when a kit includes words that you can make your own title with, well, use them as your title, I use less of the letter stickers. So I'm just getting an eyelash off that. So what I'm planning to do is, as all my hip kits, is I will carry across these and possibly these into the next kit. Excuse me. I won't be carrying these across because I have the Take Me Away. I've got some of the collection and I'll just add this to that. Right, moving on. This is all I've got left from the My Mind's Eye Yes Please gold mirror stickers. You're probably noticing a theme. I have a lot of trouble using numbers, so I really need to make an effort to think of a way to use them. I'm going to carry them across to the next kit as well. This is how many enamel dots I've got left, which is really nothing at all. So they will go to the next kit. I didn't use any of the flair because the words just didn't work with what I was scrapping, so that will go across. And then this is the ephemera that I have left from Take Me Away. And like I did with the letter stickers, I'm going to stick these in with the Take Me Away collection. So it's going to go like this. I used, well, you can see, I've used some of the glitter foam tape, which I loved. May or may not carry it across. I may actually carry it across to February's kit, but we'll see. I have one of the exclusive silhouette cuts or die cuts that I will put in with my, I keep anything that I don't use that I've cut, I keep and I put it in a container. And then here are the sequins. There are a lot of sequins in the packet, and I have one layout where I really focus on using a lot of them, so you'll see that there are just so many. So I was probably never going to use all of them. These I've carried across from my December kit, sorry. And no, that can't be right. It must be my November kit. Anyway, November. So what's happened is, this is rose gold. Some of them are slightly damaged, so I probably won't use them. This is the gold, and I will carry them across again because I just can't have things sitting around. So I want to use as much as possible, and then I'll probably just throw away the ones that are damaged. So that is everything that I have left. Okay, so on to what I made with my kit. I made 9 12x12 layouts, and I made 2 8x8 layouts for my Grateful album. But I'll start with the 12x12s, and this is the first one that I made. I had this photo of Brielle that I'd taken on my phone. It's not a great quality photo, but I just love the memory that it captures, and so I just adored all the pinks in this kit, and they went so well with what she was wearing. And so I always find the first layout really hard, you know, first cut is the hardest, and so I wanted to keep it quite simple, just with layers. And then I always find that I'm struggling, and then I add my embellishment and it all comes together. So I splattered the background with Colour Shine, Holy Swap, in rose, pink, and I think tinsel. And then I love this paper, and I just cut the bottom fussy cut and layered it up, used the Enjoy, and I wanted to say enjoy the journey. And I just talked about how she pushed her bike to the top and just rode down. It was like a big thing for her because she's getting more brave doing that. And then I just used my embellishment and sequins. So that's the first one. This one is the one where I said I used a lot of sequins. So I took this paper and cut it apart, and then I thought about how am I going to rebuild this, and I wanted something between each of the blocks, and so that's where I stuck my sequins, and I used Close to My Heart liquid glass, which is fantastic for achieving this, and it took ages. It was I've probably said before, I struggle with patience when it comes to sequins, but it's well worth it. And as I was making it, before I put my photo on, I wasn't loving it, but it wasn't until I did my embellishment again that the whole thing came together. So I've popped up these pieces on foam so that I can, the sequins are tucked under really, so there's no gap. And I'm actually really thrilled with how it turned out. And it's just a photo of our kids, and it's called Thank You because it was a really hard 7 weeks after Ava was born. It was school holidays. 2 weeks after she was born, we straight into school holidays, and Sean started a new job where he's not a teacher anymore, so he wasn't around all the time. So it meant that because I'd had surgery to have her, I couldn't take our kids out and do lots of stuff, so they had to occupy themselves. And so I'm just saying that in the journaling, what a challenging time it's been for our family, but how, they had their fights, they had their moments, but for the most part, they played really well. So that's just a photo of them. They were ripping up paper to make paper mache. And if you know my scrapbooking well, you know that I love capturing everyday moments. So this one, I used the cut file, and I backed it with some of the pattern papers from Take Me Away. I wanted to use this grid as a background, and I thought that it'd be quite different to use a sort of a soft and pretty cut file with a more stronger kind of background, and that's what I've done there. So I had 2 little photos that also go with Brielle when she rode a bike, a selfie of me and another one of her, and they're not great photos, and that's why they look better printed small, but I thought they looked really good just in this composition, and I was a bit scared, but I did all of this, and then I did a bit of packaging technique and put my letter stickers on the back. So also I loved how the star sequins look on this one. And I think, because I was so unwell when I was pregnant that we went to the park so often because it's close to our house and it's easy for us to go home. And so I thought that Carpe Diem worked really well with seizing the moment and doing what I could do, which wasn't much. This one, I just adored this paper so much. It's kind of part here with my stitches. I'm going to have to fix that. But I really actually struggled with this layout. I loved how these 2 exclusive papers went together. And this is a photo of Sam and Azaria going on school bus for the first time without me walking them there. And so I thought, Fantastic Adventure goes really well with that. I struggled with the embellishment because the Take Me Away embellishments didn't really go with the theme of this. Not that I want to be themey, but I didn't want to just chuck in anything random. So I've used a couple of the tags, and these are from the previous month's kit, and just some sequins. But in saying that, I really like it because it is simple, and not every page has to be a work of art. This really focuses on the picture and the story. And I love what Chamel says about in her album philosophy is to have some breathing spaces, and I think that's what this will achieve in my family album. This one I love as well. This is another photo of Brielle. I've scrapped several of these that I took. Her and I went to a friend's wedding. It was during the week, so the others were at school and Sean was at work. And so I started with this gorgeous paper again, and this is one of my favourite papers, and I just built it around there. And this is probably my go-to design, is to use blocks of paper and then have the photo go across. And so I've used a big doily, I've used one of the cut files and I've backed it. I put the little tassels on the string, which I just adore. And what I did for a mat was I used that Paige Evans Take Me Away square paper, and I just found colours that worked and used a big block of it. So you've got, it's like, it looks like it's different pieces of paper, but obviously it's the squares. I wasn't happy with that positioning of that, but I think it balances out well with the gold, and then I've splattered gold on this and then gold and pink, the same colours again on that side. So that's that one. Oh, and I've stitched as well for texture. And of course it's practical, it holds everything down, and I've kept my threads long. And I've just called it Today You. Now I've had to be careful because I don't want to over journal about this, because I've got several photos and I've made several pages. But this one focuses on the fact that she fell over there in a puddle and got a bit dirty. So it's a beautiful photo. Got a little bit of dirt on it. So it's actually part of the story, and I love that. This one was for the cut shop, and I did make a video, and then I deleted it by mistake. But it's using the And Then cut file and the Friends Forever cut file. So I got the word selfie, and I used that Take Me Away beautiful paper. I really wanted to feature it. And I wanted to use girly colours on a boy page, and I think I achieved that quite well. So, and I love using catchphrases that are of today, like his selfie game is strong. You know, someone has a strong selfie game means I've got good selfies. And Sam loves taking selfies on my phone and leaving them there as a surprise for me, and so that's what that photo is. And I just talk about how he ended up putting that on the phone and what we were doing. And then I discovered it. So I'd done all of this, and I really wanted to go for the full-on title, and then it looked a bit, it was missing something, so I've cut part of a frame and just put best and some and then dots up there. So that's that one. This one is also for the cut shop, and this is the Geo Globe, and I need to erase the pencil on there. But I just backed it with lots. Sorry, let me start again. Getting down to scraps at this point, so I wanted to use up as many patterns as I could, so that's what I've done in there. And then I've just used that gorgeous paper again to mat it, and I've popped it up on foam and then just tucked a few things behind it, these stickers again. And once again, I loved that I'd done the other one with the tassels on the string and just stapled them, so I've done that again. And I just put a glue dot, so I'd stand it up like that and then just use a glue dot behind it to position it. So it looks like it's hanging there, but actually it's fixed. And the little moments went really well with the story, which is about her giving her baby a bath and copying what I do with Ava. So that's that one. And actually, one other thing, I prepared a watercolour background when I made this one. After I'd cut this out, I was left with the frame. So if you flip it over, I was left with that. And I think I'd cut out, I'd gutted what was left that wasn't part of the ampersand. And then rather than waste that paper, I made a frame, and then I did some packaging technique with watercolours, but I had no idea what to do with it, so it worked really well with this one. And I've splattered, the last thing I did was splatter with some black colour shine. So this one, we're really getting down to scraps now, and somebody made the comment that they love seeing what I make with scraps, and so I have a process video for this. I just haven't edited it and done my voiceover yet. But I love this paper, and this is about her breaking her arm, and so I love that. Looks like, Swiss Cross first aid. I thought it went really well with the story of the broken arm. And so I had this, which is the same as the other one I did in the park with the flower, but it didn't cut properly. So I cut the flower off and just used this, and then I watercoloured it pink and just grouped my photos here. These are scraps, and I've arranged them in the way that look like full sheets, but they're actually not. And then that's the other cut file, which I kept simple, and just grouped my photos. And I put Faith is Bigger Than Fear, because I thought that went perfectly with breaking an arm. So that's that one. And then the final 12 by 12 is this one. I knew I wanted to hang these down almost like Christmas decorations. I had found this photo of Zaria that had been made at childcare and had been laminated, and she'd painted over the word confidence, so all the kids had a word and that was her one. And I I've put the date that I created it, which was like now, in February, but I'm reflecting back on finding this photo and what it means. So that's that one. And these are all scraps. I mean, that's why I hardly have any paper left, because I've tucked as much as I can under this. And I love the way that looks. And, you know, if you lift it up with your fingers, it provides a lot of movement rather than just flat paper layers. And then the 8x8, I loved this paper so much, I had to do a background with it. And I thought about colouring it, but I just love it plain. And then this is, if you follow me on Instagram, I'd had some gluten-free treats and some kombucha. And so I took a photo, because this is one of my favourite cafes in Queenstown, and it does a lot of raw food, which is how I like to eat. And I thought, weekend sweet treat. I mean, it was sweet treats, but, you know, yeah, it's a treat. That makes sense. And I used the weekend trip, because we went into town for it. Cut a banner to put the weekend on so that you could see it, otherwise it would get lost in this. And I used that frame and popped that up on foam, and I put vellum behind it. And my favourite, one of my favourite papers. And so I just love how that looks, and that's for my Grateful album. And then this one is about Ava being born, just a couple of photos. And this was a tag that said love you, so I put the flickers and sewed Ava across there and layered up the tape. This one here, I used my border punch and a zigzag stitch. So this is scraps again. What I probably would do actually is maybe lift up the layers a bit, I don't know. And then I journaled in the frame, and I just said that after such a difficult pregnancy, it was a joy to meet Ava. And so that's the date that she was born. So those are all my layouts. I hope you enjoyed looking at what I made. It's really hard for me at the moment. I'm so busy to make process videos, but I can make layout shares of what I've been making, because it's very rare that I can sit there and make a layout all in one go. So that's why I don't have as many videos. My plan is to get back on track, but I mean, she's only 3 months old, so I'm being kind to myself and not putting any more pressure on. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and welcome to my new subscribers. And if you like what you see, definitely subscribe if you haven't, because my aim is definitely to get back on track with more content for you guys as soon as I'm able. So, have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will be back again soon. Take care.